Right. So I've already stated on Wednesday that this particular style is external JavaScript. Yeah. This one too is external JavaScript too. Oh. But this one is internal JavaScript. It is internal. It is a JavaScript file we created by ourselves. Right. Same thing too as this other one. This one is external CSS. External CSS for this one is external. Okay, sorry. This is an icon actually. It's an icon. It is inside our folder. Then this one too is inside our folder, right? I've already removed this CSS part because I know it to affect our HTML as we are writing the code. Do you understand? Alright. Oh Jesus. Alright. So all our HTML will be inside the body element. Inside the body element, as you can see. So what I will do is, so this is my new file that I want to use to teach you guys. And then this is my raw file that I want to use as a guide to teach you. Do you understand? So what will happen is that you are seeing my code, Abi. Are you seeing it? Alright. So the first thing we have to do is to create a div that will carry all the elements. A div that will carry all the elements. So I will say div. Now I'll name the div. I'll give the div a name, a class name. I'll give it a class name container called container. Right. Then inside the class div, that's where I have. So I want to first create all the structure first before any other thing. Right. So inside the class div that contains all the elements, we have header. Then we have after the header, that's where we now have our main. Right. We have main. Then inside the main now, okay, let me for the header we have nav bar or nav element, right? Then after the nav, that's where we now have main. That's the main element, right? Now inside the main element now, oh, oh, ah, oh this one. So inside the nav element, we have an ID, right? The ID name is called header. That's that for that. Then for the main element, we have a class name called wrapper. Wrapper, right? Now inside the main elements now we have different div. One of them is okay. One of them is feature box. feature boss. The other one is about elements. The other one is project boss. The other one is contact boss. Contact boss, right? Then now after the contact boss, now that's where we now have that's where we now have footer, right? Footer. I hope you are following, All right. So now we have created all the structure that we need, right? And remember, all the structure are inside a particular div called container. Now, the thing is that for your own separate projects now, you might decide not to use div. You might decide to use another thing. Do you understand? You might decide to start with nav, the nav link or the nav element, then followed by every other section. Do you get? You understand what I mean? uh So now, if you observe very well, inside the main element, right, we have different sections, session, 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 and session, right? Now I will now let me create all the sessions. Sessions, then session, then session, then session. Now each of the session now carries a class name and ID. So we'll say the first session carries class name is feature boss. Then it carries an ID called home, right? For the other one, class called session. Then the ID is now called what? About. Then we have class name called session. Then we also have ID. You have ID project, right? Then we also have class session. Then ID contact, right? So that's that for that. Therefore, okay, let me leave footer for now. Now let's start with enough links. Enough links. For enough links now, right? We have div, we have another div, then we have another div, then we have another div. Then we have about how many div here now? We have one, two, three, four. We have four div inside the nav element. So what I'll do is I will div, div, div. How many div do you have? Eh? Alright. I want to confirm if you guys are following. So each of the div now carries their class name and some of them have ID. Now, okay, there's something I want to tell you. If you observe, right, we have how many sections here? One, two, three, four. We have four sections, right? Then for the first section, three of the section carry a class name called session. Hmm? Do you understand? Uh-huh. You see this project, we'll be doing a small, small because you need to understand every step. This project is what you will use to build your own first project. You first build this one. This one now that we are doing now is for you to learn. Then from this knowledge now, that's what you now use to build your own personal project. Do you get? So that's how it is. Yeah. So we'll do this one small, small, but we'll rush small, small, sha. So if you observe, we have session, session, session. The ID, the ID are different from each other about project contact, right? That's tell you that that's tell you that each of these three sessions they have a class name that is similar to each other, but the ID is different. So when you want to apply a style using the class name to this one, it means that it will also affect this other one. It will also affect this third one. Do you understand? Because each of them have similar class name called session. Now if you want to now apply a style specifically to this session alone, that's why you now use the ID name. Same thing applies to this project session. Same thing applies to this contact session. Do you understand? All right. So that's what I want to explain to you for that part. So for the second part, for the first part, which is the nav element, hmm, we already said that we have four elements inside the nav element. So the four elements, some of them have class name, while some of them have ID too. So for the first one, we notice that it have a class name of logo, nav logo. Then for the second one, it has a class name. It have a class name of nav menu. And it now have ID called my nav menu. When writing this particular ID, you have to be very careful because when we are doing JavaScript, write it as it is now. so that when we are doing JavaScript, you will not be saying I'm not getting my result. It is because of the how you spell your ID. Do you understand? So you have to take note. You have to pay attention to every tiny details. Then we have another class name for the third one called nav button, right? Now for the fourth one, we also have a class name called nav menu button. Normally, the way I teach my students at my workplace is that when I'm done writing all this structure, I will now pause and tell that they should create the structure first before we now go deeper. So it's still the same pattern I will likely to use for you guys. Do you understand? Or what do you think? What do you think? Should I pause first? You guys write this stuff, the structure, or I should continue there? You now go back and watch the video. It's still step by step. I'm recording the video already. So go back and watch it. All right. So first thing first, we already achieve our we already achieved the structure of our nav element. What is nav element is used for? Hmm? All right, that's assignment. Is that what? All right, assignment. You submit it tomorrow morning. We find out what it is used for, and we'll send it to the group chat tomorrow morning. So let's continue. Okay, let's start with the nav logo. Right. For the nav logo, now, we have only two elements. We have a paragraph, then we have a span. Paragraph and span. What span is used for? Or what is the advantage of using span? No respond. Another assignment is loading now. Alright. Find out and send it on the group chat tomorrow morning. Two. The first one is the nav element, while the other one is the span element. So let's continue. For the nav logo, right, we have only two elements, which is paragraph and span. For the paragraph, it's just you can decide to use this is a nav logo, right? I know what logo actually means. It's just like a symbol representing your brand. So for example, now maybe you are selling Okrika, the way they used to call it in Lagos, or you are selling palm oil, or you are selling vegetable. You can decide to have a logo for yourself, and the logo represents your brand. So wherever someone see that logo, it's always the person always remember your brand. Do you understand? So that's what it means here too. So instead of this paragraph and span, you can actually put image element. Hmm? Then put your image source where your logo is located. You put it there. assignment. Do not use. Okay, no worry, no worry, no worry, no worry. Use it like this. But you can actually use this class name. Am I speaking Spanish? You can do it like this. So the image will be, the logo will now be image instead of write up. Do you understand? I sure these people are with me. You don't understand? Alright. But you have been understanding what I've been saying ever since. You understand what I've been saying ever since. Yes, yes, yes. So what I actually mean is that instead of using write up, because you can see banner up here, write up. This is just a write up. Or I can put Nextcore Technology Technology as my logo, right? As my logo. So you can decide that okay, me I don't use write up for my logo. I use I use image for my logo. So instead of using paragraph and span here, right? You just decide to, that means you remove this element, these two elements, because they are used for write up. Then use image. So now you cannot decide when you now get to CSS, you cannot decide to apply the same style that you apply to this text to what? To your image if it will work. Do you understand? Yeah. So now what? Okay, no worry. But I want you to try the two out. Try the image, then try the text. So whatever that actually like comfortable with you, that's what you do. What? That's what you use. Do you understand? All right. So let's move to the second element called nav menu. Now, do you notice that I made a mistake somewhere? There's a mistake somewhere here. Do you notice that? Yes, exactly the spelling. So if you do mistake in the spelling, you might go back home. So inside now, this is a very important part in this nav bar. So what we are trying to create here is that we are trying to create a nav link, a nav link. So the nav link carries, look at the link here. This is the link. Sorry, this is a listing. This list, right? So remember what list is used for now. List element. What is it used for? Orderly manner or orderly manner or on order manner. Oh, Fijuro, are you sure you are here? I'm not going back. Oh, all right. So, yeah, please, you are correct. So, what to do is No, please, you're not correct. Oh, this what you were saying. This thing, but you know that we have OL. What is OS used for? All right, all right. So, what about UL? What of LI? What of LI? All right. So if you observe very well, right, you have UL, and the UL have a class name of nav menu list, right? Yeah. Oh, come on. So inside the class menu list, we have LI. So the LI that we have one, two, three, four. We have four different LI elements. Hmm? And each of the elements carries a class name called nav list, nav list, nav list, and nav list. Do you understand? Oh, oh, come on. What should be this one now? Alright, for the nav link, let's create a class name, nav list. Are you see what I'm doing? Alright. So I will stop somewhere here, right? So what I want you guys to do is that go and create all this structure for me. Structure. Okay? You create all this structure for me. Hmm? But I'll not stop now. I'm just telling you. But I'll stop in this first one. Create all this structure I've already created. You created for me. Let me see it. Let me see it first before I have to continue. So now if you notice inside the li element we have a linking element, then we have a div element. Do you see it? Do you see what I'm saying now? Right. So for the linking element we have link, then we have div. For the link we have home, then a class name called nav link, a nav link, then Then now for this particular element, now this particular element have two different class name. You put them together inside one. So you are seeing active link. Are you seeing it? The first one is what? Nav link. While the other one is what? Active link. Hmm? Yes. Then in between the home we have this. Now yes, that's good. Now I remember. You know what you know what I will do? What I will do is that I'll just finish this place like this. Then you now have to finish one, two, three. So let me see if we're on the same path. I have to submit it by Saturday evening. Now I'm giving deadline now because I want you guys to work very fast. From now on henceforth, I don't want to be hearing I'll submit this later, I'll submit this later. If you cannot submit it that same day that we are having class, just forget it. Don't submit it again. I just assume that you have already submitted and you already know what you are doing. Do you understand? Yes, we have to do it like that because if we don't do it like that, you'll be dragging me back, which I don't like. So now let me explain this again because this is what you use to do the remaining one. Inside the li element, we're having a nav. We have a class name called nav list. Then inside the li element, we have two different elements called linking elements and a div element. Hmm? For the linking element, we have two different class name called nav link and active link. Then inside the href attributes, that's we will now have hash home, so that when you click on that hash when you click on home on your website, it will not take you directly to where it will take you directly to the home page. Do you understand? uh So that then you now have your normal write up called home. Now for the other assignment, what you just do is that put your linking element, put your linking element, put your div element there, then write about project and contact. That's what you'll be doing, about project and contact. Do you understand? This particular project we are working on is a practical project. It's something you have to do on your own. Do you understand? uh So I already give you example. I already give you example. So use the example now. So do what it is next to do. Do what it's necessary. Sorry. Do what you have to do to complete the nav link. The nav link. This is a nav link. So you complete it. You complete it before tomorrow evening. I want to see it tomorrow evening. You snap it and you send it to the group chat. Then concerning we are done. Oh, yeah, we are done. So I will stop recording very soon. Yeah, so concerning the Discord account, you have to create a Discord account. When you are done creating it, you let me know. Then I will send you invitation link so you can join the Discord account channel. So we can be communicating from there. Do you understand? All right. So thank you very much. Fejiro, I know hear from you. I believe you will watch the video and follow up what we have been doing